this is Voluptuously Skinny, and I'm here with a post-op week 32 update on my gastric sleeve, and also post-op week 5 update on my breast reduction surgery, and then just post-op week. I mean, it's just like post-op, post-op, post-op. You guys, I have had 3 surgeries in the last 5 weeks. As you can see, I am home. I've been home for 2 days. And I'm just going to talk to y'all today. Not really any so much updates as far as my weight is concerned. I did weigh when I got home, and I was up like 15 pounds from the fluids that they were, giving me for the surgeries. And I'm feeling so much better today. This has just been a crazy ride. Y'all excuse the lighting. As I was looking at it, and I was like, "Ooh, Jesus!" I said, "I look really rough." I said, "You can see every shadow, every blemish, everything. My nails are crazy looking, but who cares?" So anyway, um, y'all know I had my breast reduction on March 24th, and during that time, everything was going pretty well, but I started to have a lot of drainage. I was having some back pain. Um, acid reflux was going on real crazy like, and just over the next couple weeks after my surgery, I was still having some issues with a lot of drainage. And the doctors had done several cultures. I actually went to the ER on I wrote all this down so I could remember it, on April 2nd, and that's when they determined that I probably had an infection. So they did a culture, and that culture actually, I think, was lost. And so they ended up doing another one that following, I think was the 5th, when I went to the doctor's office, and nothing grew out of it. So then on April 12th, no, it was April 12th, I think I went, and well, I'm kind of confused with all the dates, but anyway, April 12th, I went in to the doctor's office, and I was still having just some major drainage. So they sent me for an ultrasound, did a clean aspiration culture, and found that she said that it was staph, and it was classified as rare, which means that there was very little there, but there were signs of it. She said usually for a bad staph infection, it shows +1 or +2 or greater. So, um, so they suspected that there could have been some signs of staph there. So that's where I got the fact that I thought I had a staph infection, which, like I said, there was some there, but that wasn't the um, whole the big part of why I was draining. On April 15th, they ended up sending me to the ER because that morning I texted, or I called and I asked could I come in to see her, because I felt like the incision on my right breast was coming open, and that it was going to come open over the weekend if they did not do something quickly. So they sent me to the ER. And at that time was when I found out that there showed a small sign of staph. So they said that they were going to admit me, and they started to flush me with vancomycin, and then some other stronger antibiotics. And over the course of several days, the drainage was still there. And so that's when they realized, okay, we may not be treating necessarily a staph infection or an infection, but this may be fat necrosis. And so they decided that following day that they were going to do surgery to debride and clean all of that area out. And so that is what they did, and did find that the majority of that was fat necrosis. It was not necessarily a staph infection, but there was staph present. They did another culture while they were there, and also found a different bacteria that they treated as well. Let's see. So then that April 22nd, I had that corrective surgery on April 18th. And then April 22nd, they had observed me through the week, continued to give me antibiotics, and they were going to release me on April 22nd. Well, when April 22nd came, and even before then, I had still been complaining. Even when I entered in the hospital and the ER on the 15th, of this right shoulder blade pain, and just this reflux, and just bad, just feeling overall bad. And so the 22nd, I was just so gassy. I had not gone to the bathroom in over a week. Or yeah, I had urinated, but I had not had a BM in over a week. And when the doctor palpated me, she was like, "Hey, is something else going on? I can't in my right mind release her. We've got to do some tests." So she immediately ordered X-rays and ultrasounds. In addition to that, I also had another little small area on my right breast that was draining. So they immediately took me in to do the x-ray, and they saw, of course, I had not used the bathroom, so I was showing that I was impacted. So they were just thinking, oh, if she goes to the bathroom, she'll be fine. And I was thinking if I went to the bathroom, I would be fine. So I was asking the doctor for enemas or whatever she wanted to give me that would help relieve me quickly. And at one point, the doctor said, "You want an enema?" I said, "I don't want an enema, but I need something, And she's like, "Well, what else can I help you with?" I said, "Just help me go to the bathroom, and I think that I'll be fine." Well, they ended up doing the ultrasound, and the ultrasound showed, it showed that there was a distended gallbladder and that there was something in the gallbladder, and they could not rule out gallstones. So in that instance, they ended up, my surgeon, the plastic surgeon, she partners with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Thomas. Dr. Duckett is my surgeon, Dr. Thomas. And he then came on board to start checking out the gallbladder issues. So they then gave me, I think they gave me, they ordered a CAT scan because they wanted to be sure of what this was in my gallbladder. And so they did a CAT scan, and it definitely showed that the distension and the gallstone. So they decided they were going to give me, my other doctor, the surgeon, the plastic surgeon, she had given me some mag citrate that did not work. And I was so surprised. I was like, what is going on? My body is really rebelling. And so the gallbladder surgeons, Dr. Thomas and his crew, they decided that they were going to give me a medicine called Go Lightly. And Go Lightly is, if you've ever had a colonoscopy, you probably had to take Go Lightly. And one of my friends said, it's not called Go Lightly, it's called Go Quickly, because you really go quickly. And it wasn't so much that it made me go quickly, but boy, when it did finally make me go, Lord Jesus, you definitely have to stay wired to close to a restroom. It's kind of like the mag citrate, but 100 times worse. So anyway, they felt like they needed to make sure that I was cleaned out really, really good, so that when they got ready to do the surgery, that because I was going under anesthesia again, I would probably end up suffering some of the same issues as far as constipation goes. And they wanted to make sure that I was clear enough to where it wouldn't cause any issues. So I ended up having my surgery this past Monday, which was on the 25th. I had my gallbladder surgery, and I felt instant relief. The gas on my stomach was gone. Other than where they had cut my gallbladder, removed it, and the laparoscopic incisions, I didn't even have much gas pains. When I got home from the following day, when I got home and laid down that evening, I had a little bit of gas pain in this right shoulder, but other than that, nothing major. Yesterday, I managed with painkillers, but today I don't plan on taking anything that's considered a narcotic. If I need anything, it'll be probably like a Tylenol or something. I do have a home health nurse coming every day to change my dressings, to keep everything kind of sterile and clean. And so she'll be coming every day. I know she came yesterday, and then I'll have one come today and tomorrow. And then over the weekend, I think I'm going to be on my own. And then next week, they'll kind of decide if it's going to be 2 days a week or 3 days a week or what have you. So I'm home, y'all, and I'm doing much better. I definitely have to get back on track with my eating, because while I was in the hospital, I was just kind of eating whatever. Lots of carbs, lots of carbs. And then they had me on a high protein diet. But you guys, the high protein diet, it was crazy because the protein wasn't that high. It'd be like 10 or 15 grams of protein, but the calories and the carbs were out of sight. Like I had a protein shake that they brought in at 10 o'clock every day. It was delicious, and I definitely enjoyed it because it was one of the few things that I could get down comfortably and that tasted really good. Well, I take that back. It wasn't one of the few things. I would say it was one of the few high protein items that tasted really good and that I could get down easily. It was 352 calories for about 16 ounces. I think it had 16 grams of fat, 16 grams of protein, 9 grams of fat, and I think it had 52 grams of carbs. So, yeah. So let's just say I'm definitely trying to get back on track with the way I need to eat and the high protein, the way we do high protein, the way my nutritionist had set it up for me to do high protein. The food was good. I had like potatoes, I had like rice, I even ate a little bit of bread, so just tiny bits of everything because that's what felt good and that's what I could get down and that's what I ate. So I was telling my nutritionist even before all of this happened how easily we could get off track um, concerning, especially when we're dealing with different medical conditions. So that's definitely something you might want to think about and plan with your physicians when you are getting ready to go through anything major, any major surgery, any major medical ordeal, is to definitely try to get your nutrition, um, uh, your nutrition plan going or set up, because that was one that I was not expecting at all to be an issue, but it was an issue. So anyway, my gallbladder is finally gone. I know that they say that it's typical for a lot of these surgeries for the gallbladder to be taken out. I had asked my surgeon, Dr. Cole, if my gallbladder needed to be taken out initially, and he said that typically with the sleeve, they don't take it out because you don't lose weight as quickly as with the gastric bypass. And so he found that many of his patients did typically have a problem with their gallbladder. But if you remember back in several other videos, um, even at the very beginning, I think in many, many videos earlier that I did, I think I complained a little bit about having some stomach issues. And then when Dr. Cole found the hernia, I associated it all with the hernia. But I do believe when I asked Dr. Day, who was working with Dr. Thomas, I asked him about my gallbladder because they said it was so distended that they had to drain it before they even removed it from my body. I asked him, I said, how long could this have been going on? He said, this has been going on a long time. So I remember back last summer, earlier in the year, last year, how I was having some issues with indigestion and just some stomach issues. And my mom and my sister kept saying, I think it's the gallbladder. I think it's the gallbladder. And I will go to the physician, my primary care, and she would just say I need to lose weight. She never would really take a look at everything, or either I'm just thinking, do simply what these surgeons did: X-ray, ultrasound, CAT scan, just to be sure. So I've been dealing with that a long time, and I'm just feeling better and better every single day. Um, I'm still, a little weak because, like I said, I hadn't eaten very well, and just from being laid up. I was in the hospital for 12 days, and I was so glad to be home, you guys. So glad to be home. I had so many prayer warriors coming up, so many people praying for me, people sending me messages, text messages, emails, comments. I'm just so grateful. People praying for me at my church. My grandmother's old school Kojic, and she brought up oil to anoint me, and my mom and her and I, and just touching my body and believing in complete healing. And at one point my grandmother said, yeah, and I wanted to drink a little bit of it because I wanted to be covered from the inside, from the outside to the inside, just covered completely by the blood of Jesus and the anointing of Jesus. And I know that is why the care that was given to me, and I know that's why I'm receiving my healing, and that I'm receiving it now so quickly. They just, I can't say enough I'm at a loss of words almost because I can't say enough. Uh, give you enough thanks or accolades or just y'all glorified God when y'all did what y'all were doing, when y'all prayed and when y'all left those comments. I mean, it just made me it made me feel so good. It made me feel so encouraged. And my pastor them coming up, that just made me feel so encouraged, you guys. I have an 18 and an 11-year-old who took care of themselves the majority of the time that I was in the hospital. And so I know that that was God's way of showing me too that my kids got it. They're not, I don't have to fuss all the time and I don't have to micromanage because they have it. I've done a good job, and that's been, especially if you're a single mother, and maybe even if you're not a single mother, there's sometimes that you doubt that what you're doing is making a difference in your children's life, or are you parenting right, or are you parenting in a way where they're going to be successful, independent, law-abiding, God-fearing citizens. And so I think that my kids have proved that. My little one, he had some struggles, but you know what? He's young. We got time to get him back on track, and I just thank God for showing me that what I'm doing is it's okay. I'm doing okay. So I'm not going to weigh myself. I did weigh myself on yesterday. Like I said, I weighed myself when I got back and I was 247, and that was up from 230. So actually, 17 pounds difference. So I'm not going to weigh myself again officially. I'll weigh myself next Wednesday, but officially, I'll weigh that. I'll give it 2 weeks to let everything kind of get back on track. So give me 2 weeks, and then I'll give you an update officially on my weight and how it's going. Um, the other thing is I was talking to a friend yesterday, and she was just saying, "Don't get so tied up in the weight. Don't get so tied up in the weight." And I said, I'm not. I'm going to make sure that I do like weighing. I do like to see my weight go down. Don't get me wrong. But right now I know I can't get tied up in it because I've got too much stuff going on in my body and too much healing to do. So I am feeling good. I thank you guys so much for reaching out to me. Um, and if you have any questions, I mean, I am, I think somebody was asking me if I regretted having the breast reduction surgery. And no, I do not regret it. Um, I've kind of had some weird dreams about it the last couple of nights. Um, but I don't regret it. I just haven't had the opportunity to be able to enjoy it yet. To be able to wear different things, different clothes, and different bras and that type of stuff. So when I am, I'll be able to speak to it a little better. But know that don't be afraid to step out there and have the breast reduction surgery. My situation was not typical. And I can tell you that based on how many of my friends that I know who have had breast reduction surgery and how theirs went and how successful theirs was and how happy they are with it. So don't let my situation be something that discourages you or pushes you away from having the reduction. Just know that my result is not typical. And so it may give you, warning to, if you're allergic to different antibiotics like I am, to have that conversation with your physician, which I never thought about because I never really had that much of an issue with it before. The doctors always figured it out. And so now, I have antibiotics that I know work for me or that the doctors have tried. And so those are the ones that I will have, in my back pocket so that I know when the doctors ask me, hey, what have you tried before? That I can give them those names and that they will be able to adjust whatever program there is for me. So anyway, y'all, I'm not thinking about another surgery. I don't know in the future what that will hold, what that will bring. I don't know, but right now I'm just looking at my complete and utter healing. If I do think about doing something else, honey, it will be years from now. So, anyway, I'm just I'm excited to be able to just get back out there, get back to work, get to doing things that are fun and exciting. My kids, I know that they are tired and they are worn out too. They need a break. And so I'm hoping that before I go to work that I feel well enough to be able to go out and do something with them that's fun and just not, you know, based on school or whatever, just something fun and exciting. Just us, just relaxing and not having to worry about running here and there. I'm not going to push myself, I know that much, but I just want to do something that the kids can relax and I can relax and we don't have to think about hospitals or medical issues or them trying to get up and get themselves to school or worried about me not being at home. So I don't know. I was trying to think of anything else that I might want to talk about, but I think that is about it. So anyway, this has been way too long. I just wanted to give y'all an update, let y'all know I am home. Thank y'all so much. I've just been totally blessed, and keeping my head up, and looking forward to some things that I'm thinking about changing and in my life and pathways I'm thinking about taking. So we'll see what happens from that. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get off of here so I can upload this video, and I will talk to y'all later. Okay, peace out, babies. Mwah. Love y'all.